Greetings, Minecrafters! Nonsanity here, and welcome to episode 4 of All the Mods 3 Remix. I want to make a Rube Goldberg machine. Not specifically, but definitely a convoluted way to get a specific resource. It's going to be big, so let's get started. Alright, we got lots of project chests, because this was a many-machine system. This is really ridiculous. This is not the best way to go about something, but I wanted to do something different. This was different. And it involves lots of machines and doing some different things, so I thought it was worth showing off. So, where do we begin? I think I'll begin with a little bit of what's in this project chest over here. I did upgrade a bunch of my mechanism machines to elite factories, so now they do 7 things at a time. If I put stuff here into the enrichment factory, it's set to output on the side, which goes into this one, which is set to input on that side, which is the smelting, so I can put some ores in here and I can double it into this chest. It outputs to the top. This little sequence of crushing factory and induction smelter, that's part of this whole process. So I guess I'll show that to you right now. The idea is to make slag. You can see I've been doing a lot of testing of this process. To make slag, it's a side effect of doing a lot of different... where is the... that's the, how to make it. There we go. Induction smelter. Smelting a lot of things with either sand or slag, rich slag, gets you regular slag. And I was looking, and a lot of them are like 25% and so forth, of taking like a pulverized material and some sand, and you get a 25% chance of getting slag. So I thought, alright, we'll give it some sand, give it some pulverized iron, it'll cook it up to iron. Then we send it out the side into a crushing factory, which will crush it back into a dust and eject upwards into this chest, which will pipe it back into this machine. I'm using aluminum, and it'll just cycle it around. So if we put some sand in here, the sand will go in as well and start the whole process. So, and it'll recycle the same 16 aluminum round and round and round. Aluminum is particularly recyclable in the real world. So basically this setup turns sand into a 25% slag. So I put a lot of sand through this thing. That's one of the things we need for this project, is slag. That's not the only thing we need. It's all coming down to these guys, cinder pearls. Cinder pearls, if you put them in a crafting table, they turn into blaze powder. They're also used in a number of just flour in indistinct recipes, but that's the specific thing. Cinder pearl to blaze powder. Now, you can't crush it. A centrifuge, that gets you methane. Painting machine, that has aspects. This is where it is in the world. This is enchantments. The only other thing in here is the phytogenic isolator, which takes the cinder pearl and some fluxed phytogrow and gives you the blaze powder, and then gives you the cinder pearl back so you can recycle it through, and it just needs water. But you need a good supply of fluxed phytogrow, and I can make blaze powder. That is our end goal of this whole process, is blaze powder from the cinder pearls. As you can see, I've got 5 of them here. We found some on our first day, and I turned them immediately into blaze powder, but I found a few more. I want to just keep reusing these, because you can't put them in a garden or anything. Oh, by the way, this has been going gangbusters. I had some netherwort that I was growing for a little while, so I got some of that. The sugarcane is still growing in the back. I briefly had some cactus, because I needed some cactus. I've got just one dye seed here. Just the one, right? Yeah, just the one dye seed. Because I wanted to have whatever dyes I needed. And it slowly builds up in here, and I have to empty it out manually. This also is harvesting the one ender pearl plant over there. So I've been putting dyes in here. I accidentally got one of those. Toss that away. Okay. But notice I only have like 450. I had 57,000 in this drawer. What I did is I made a crafter tier 3. And I plop this down here so it gets power. Hook it up. Turn that off. We won't do the rest quite yet. Put that away for later. And I gave it all the recipes. The first thing I did was this is different in mystical agriculture than I've done before. And we're sort of off in this isn't part of our main thing, but I wanted to get this out of the way because it's sort of a separate piece. Previously, when I've played mystical agriculture, there was only 2 of the infusion crystals. Where are they here? I know they're on this page. Yeah. Well, now it's showing just the 2. Wait. Mist. Fusion. Okay, there we go. Originally there was just the 2. The basic one and the master. But you can't make the basic one. Instead, mystical agriculture tiered crystals is an extra mod that's been added in here. And now we've got the basic one, which requires the basic essence, and can be used to create the second tier essence only. Then you have the second tier crystal, which takes the second tier, makes the third tier. And this makes so on and so on. And the supremium infusion crystal can be used to make the master, which requires the insanium essence. So basically you have to tier up through all of these. It takes 64 stacks of the basic essence to get these 4 supremiums to make the master crystal. Plus, you need a little bit extra to make all these crystals as you're going up. So it takes, I think, 6 of these basic infusion crystals and 1 each of the other 4 in order to get to the master. So once I had a ton of essence, that's what I did. I made 6 of these and 1 of each of these and just manually tiered up a whole lot of essence until I could make the master infusion crystal. First thing I made. Once I have it, I could put it in here with 1 of each of the different tiers, and I said, remember. Click the R, and see there's Ghost for the 2 that I don't have in here. I made 55 Insanium. But yeah, each of these recipes is in here. So this is the basic, using the master. I've set it to internal. And then the next tier, internal, next tier, internal, next tier, internal. The last tier is set to external C. This means the crystal will be kept in the system, but then the output of Insanium goes out here. So now, if I plug this all in, you see as it comes in, it's crafting each tier automatically. I could give the conduit some sort of, well, not some sort of, I could give it its speed upgrade, but I don't need it because this is fast enough for what the garden produces on a general basis. Right now it's got a build-up since I took this thing down to show you. But yeah, it'll slowly build its way up and then eventually get more Insanium. So it's gotten 55 Insanium. That's a lot. A lot of essence. And it's a lot more compact this way. And you can break it down without a crystal. So it's more convenient to store it in this very dense form. Alright, back to the main project for today. Alright, so what we need to do is get these cinder pearls in a phytogenic isolator. That's what it's called, right? Phytogenic isolator, yep. With this fluxed phytogrow. The recipe for this requires an energetic infuser with rich phytogrow. Rich phytogrow is made from rich slag. Alright, I'm not making rich slag, I'm making regular slag. So we go over here to the fluid transposer recipes. You can take regular phytogrow with 200 sap to make the rich. And then the regular is made from regular slag, niter, or saltpeter or nitrate, and sawdust. So we can make all these renewable. And we can make the sap renewable. So we can make this, because this is just charging up with energy. So we should be able to do this. That's the idea. So let's put down the phytogenic isolator first. I'm going to put it right here. This is just to make black concrete, because I'll be needing it for the next project. I just have a sink piping water into it, and I put the powder over here, and it turns it into black concrete for you. Though you can only have the first slot filled, so if you're piping it in, like I was from this hopper here, make sure you put one here and lock the recipe. That way it doesn't fill in all these slots, because if you have 2 slots with black concrete powder, it stops working. There can only be 1. Alright, continuing. The next, going backwards from our target here, is the energy infuser. That will energize the phytogrow and then pass it in here. So that's the input on the side, and this one's got the output on the side. Now it wants the fluid transposer output. So this is going to take the basic phytogrow and sap and pass it over to here to be charged, which will pass it here to be grown with these guys, which I'll toss in. And this needs water too, so I think I've got some conduit I can run the same water line. Extract. There we go. Should be getting water. It is. All right. And sawmill. That's how we're going to get the sap. But it requires an augment. So I've, you can see this one's got the first upgrade corners here. I hit it with the hardened upgrade kit, which just requires some Invar. I've got the induction smelter, so I can take some nickel and iron to make the Invar. Not a problem. Bronze, I could do that also in the induction smelter with some copper and tin. And then it required this augment, which copper plate. I had to make this forge hammer, which is just some iron and sticks. Tin gear, this guy's redstone and iron. Yeah, pretty simple. Toss him in there after you've upgraded it. Because until you upgrade it, there are no slots in here. I'm clicking and nothing, it's not opening. Once it's been upgraded once, you have 1 slot to put an upgrade. The phytogenic insulator here, insulator, not isolator, insulator. I upgraded it to the 2nd tier, which is, where is it? Here it is. The Electrum version. Just so I can put in 2 slots. I made 2 speed augments, but I decided to switch one out for the nutrient recovery. This provides a chance not to consume the fertilizer, so it makes the fertilizer last a little longer. You can see it's got the gold corners. So this one is set to output on the side, input on the top, and input on this side. So it's going to take the sap in on this side, output on over there. So that's grown enough to hurt. So now we need the... Oh wait, it's creating the sap. That's right. This guy's creating the sap. Oh, this is going to output over there. So let's give it an output crate here. Just output. Because it's going to create planks. Because it's going to take oak, not oak, dark oak. Because dark oak gives you a little bit more sap. It'll output planks, and it'll create sap. And the sap will go over here. And I'm going to put this crate on top of it, and I think it is set to, it's not auto input. So I must have had something else up there, but I'll put auto input now. So it should suck from the crate. Let's see. Do I have... I do have some regular Phytogrow. Toss that in. Good, it's pulling it down. I may change that, because that's not the way I had it before. Alright, now we need wood for the sawmill. Wood for the sawmill. What we're going to do... See, I don't know which of these is which. I got a whole bunch of drawers with various things in them. Oops. Alright, this is the one. It's going to go right on top. This one is set... No, it's not. Alright, now it is. So it's going to suck the wood out of there. But where's the wood going to come from? Well, I made a bunch of hopping. Actually, I took down all but one of my hopping bonsai. Probably don't even need that one either. Put upgrades in these drawers to sort of condense them because I had multiples of the same type. Just put one emerald in each one of them. That adds a lot of space. I'm going to take some item conduits. Now it is possible to put the hoppers directly on conduits. So I'm going to... This is different from what I've done before, but I like this better. There we go. And put down the hopping bonsais. Each one of these is going to be extracting all the time. And it's going to insert into this. So the only thing it's going to be able to pull out of the hopping bonsais are the logs. Everything else will just disappear. And I'm going to use grass because that makes the trees grow a little bit faster. I don't think I can get up there now. There we go. So load in the grass and load in the saplings. Alright, they're growing. They should all feed into here. I could add 2 more, I suppose, but this, I think, is going to be fast enough. It'll be close. Alright, what else? Alright, what did I need the alloy? I needed the alloy smelter at some point, so I made one. Manufactory. I made a manufactory. Oh, you can hear the sawmill going. Got the first logs. So this should be getting a little bit of sap. Yep, there it is. I think it gets 20 sap each. But it needs 200 for each Phytoglow, so need a lot of logs. But then it should pass it over here to be charged, and then it should show up over here. And this will start running, creating... I keep hitting that. Alright, the manufactory can do a lot of different things. But what we need is this stuff, the niter. So let's grab that. And we're going to put it here. With a bit of conduit. Extracting. Inserting. And so we need a light over here. Oh, that's the extra augment. Alright, we'll just do this. So I can feed things into it. So it'll extract out of that. Insert here. And this can take energy upgrades, like it made 8, and speed upgrades. So that'll make it much faster. Probably makes it take more power, too. And into that, we're going to feed sandstone. Put sandstone in there and you get niter. Good, it's going out. So it's going into here. Yep. So that creates the niter we need. This guy, one of the other side effects, besides making planks, so it's making the dark oak wood planks, is making sawdust. So we're going to, let's see, here's the planks. So we're going to put the planks crate there. Disconnect that up and use my wrench to disable that. This is going to be extract, and this is going to be insert. So that will extract the planks out of this crate and put them in here, leaving only the sawdust behind. What else? I got some extra wood here I can just toss in. I've got one of these, so we can... Oh, it's already made some. And look, it's made a blaze powder. So now we can move this guy. I had him sitting here. Am I out of... I'm definitely building this slightly differently than I built it before, but that's okay. This is insert. This is extract. So that... Yep. Oh, and I needed to recycle. So we're going to turn on self-feed and set insert. That'll take the cinder pearl that comes out here and cycle it back into itself, so it's back to 5 again. You really only need one, maybe 2, but I've got 5, because why not? And that, I think, is that. I did have other... Okay, so instead of this crate, I actually had this thing. So that will this will auto pull from above. So we'll test it, pull that out. Yep, filling it back up again. All right. So when I make the stuff, the raw phytogrow, I put it in there. And that is it. Everything else is extra. Put away the hopper, put away the extra augment, sticks, crates. Alright, so the only manual part of this, and I could probably rearrange everything and put one of these auto crafters so that I don't have to do this part manually, but it's not that bad to do it manually. If I take a stack of the slag, a stack, just one stack of the niter, and 2 stacks of the sawdust. I thought I had, oh yeah, I have the sawdust over here. 2 stacks of the sawdust. Toss these into a crafting table and you get 4 stacks of phytogrow. So that, you know, even though it's a manual step, you can make a lot of it. You can see I still have tons of everything here. So I need to put... Let's move this guy. Let's break this. Put it back down. Turn that off. Insert on white. Extract on white. And you will insert on white. Alright, so now, yep, there. The sawdust is going up there, planks going there, and because these 3 are white and all these are green, they're not going to actually intermix, even though they are connected. That'll keep this empty. Yep. And I don't have the... I keep walking over that. I gotta move that now that I'm doing stuff there. I made the 2 keys that I always make, the lock and the number. Oh yeah, we got lots of that stuff. Alright. So yeah, so now I can come and let's see, let's get 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And get some slag. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2 of these, 1 of these, 1 of these. 2, 1, 1. 2, 1, 1. Whoops. There, whole lot of phytocrow. It's actually now full. I need to give it an upgrade. Let's do that. We'll just do a basic iron. I don't need a lot. Bonk. There. Now, as long as this stays full, and you can see how easy it is to stock it up with tons, it will make blaze powder. Basically, whatever this number is will eventually turn into the same number over here. So if I just let this run now, I'll have 2,200 and... actually 2,300 something of blaze powder. It is a little slow, and the slow part is the creation of this dark oak. You can say it's sitting here waiting for these to grow. So I can put a couple more bonsai up there. They're not a super high tick as long as they're not sitting on a regular hopper or something. Probably should get rid of all the regular hoppers whenever possible. They are a bit slow and laggy. But there, a very complicated way to make blaze powder without ever going to the nether. Well, I've been to the nether, without having to deal with blazes. Yeah, I just wanted to see if it was possible. And it is. Using this one recipe with the cinder pearls to create blaze powder on a continuous basis. Oh, there is one more ingredient that we haven't addressed yet for this whole process. And that is, we need the sand to put in here to turn it into slag. And we need the sandstone in the manufactory to make the niter. So we just need sand. 2 more project chests. But before we open this one, we have to make a little trip out that way. So let me go there. And I'll be right back. Here we are. And actually, it was in the exact opposite direction that I pointed. I have destroyed one of the astral sorcery little temple things here. I've cut down every block it was made of just to steal all the marble. But of course, I left the floating crystal. I hear you. Where are you? You're far enough away I can't pick you up with my laser. Okay, never mind. Yes, the floating crystal here, if you put down a crafting table below it, it gets this beam. And now you can make certain crafts on it. In particular, there are 2 you need to make. The first is the luminous crafting table. It shows the crafting table, but it says plus starlight. If you see a recipe that says plus starlight, it has to be done here to start with under this floating crystal. And that takes some marble, a crafting table, and some sooty marble, which is marble around coal without any starlight. So you got to make that, and then you have to make a resonating wand, which also requires starlight, an ender pearl, some aquamarine, and marble. So make those 2 things here, and then we can go back to the base. Where are you? Ah, there you are. But yeah, after you've made the crafting table and the wand I have here, I've made the luminous crafting table here. You want to give it sky access, and it'll show you some amount of starlight. Now, I'm not putting it in the best possible place right now. I'm just putting it out because some of the stuff we need to make, like this light well, can be done just at night is good enough. So the light well, where's the recipe for it? Why isn't it? Recipe. There we go. You do it in this luminous crafting table. You need chiseled marble, ruined marble, a rock crystal, and some aquamarine. Ruined marble, you could do it in a regular crafting table. It's all ruined marble. Okay. Ruined. Not ruined. Ruined. It's got runes around it. But the rock crystal is the thing, this. Well, no, it doesn't have any sort of JEI for it. To make this light well, which I have already made, you need to find rock crystals. And you do that, you wait for night and hold this wand in your hand, and you'll see little white particles floating down. You dig down to near bedrock where those particles are. What I did is I ran around this area looking for the particles. There were some over there, which is why I'm looking over there, right by that tree. And I made a bookmark on the map. Just new bookmark, and made it wherever I was standing next to the particles. And then I went down to my mine and dug to that spot. You could just dig down from where you are, but you might fall in lava. There's safe ways to do it, but I already had a way down there. I just needed to dig over to it. And I found 2 of those sections, and they gave me, I think, 3 rock crystals each. Yeah, and I have 5 left. Each one of them has some size, purity, and cutting values. And you always use the worst one, the one with the smallest numbers for crafting, because it does, most cases with crafting it doesn't matter. So I use one to make this. And then if I put this pressurized fluid conduct down, I use some of my demonic ingots to make this demonically gargantuan drum. It does not have to be this big, but I went ahead and did it anyway because I've got the ender pearls, I've got the demonic, I've got the gold, I've got the diamonds, I've got the iron. So I went ahead and made the maximum size you can. And I come down here, set this to, it has to be on the bottom of the light well to extract. And that's insert. And then what you do, and I should have grabbed one of these while I was over here, is you can take a rock crystal, but aquamarines are far easier to get a hold of, and pop it on top. And that will slowly make liquid starlight. You can see it's going up there, 6,284, 6,296, 6,304. It's piping it into here. It's good to pipe it out because if you just let it build up in here, I think it'll hold 4 buckets worth. But then anything it generates was lost after that. And eventually, this aquamarine will break. And you'll have to put a new one on there. And you can use an auto clicker of some sort to put them on for you. But right now, I don't need a ton. All I needed was 1 bucket's worth for this next project. That's empty. Pick it up. So that's what I wanted to do, get 1 bucket of liquid starlight, because I'm going to use that to make the sand I need. Let's go upstairs, where I have 1 more project chest. We're going to build something. Let's see, I'll just get everything here. Out of this very nice thickened glass. You cook sandy glass, which is 2 glass, 2 sand, to make 4 sandy glass. And it's very clear, which is why I like it. Let's see. remember the layout I want to do. That should be good. Going to put a conduit there and there. Put a hopper here. This will be extract always. This will be extract always. Now let's see if I get the right drawer. I did not. There's going to be two outputs from this system. Sand. You can see I've already got 40,000 sand. And aquamarine sand. And since this is going to be insert, and this is going to be insert, and I am not going to need this, so I'm going to save that for later. Alright, that goes, I can start filling this in. Another layer. Definitely don't need quite this much glass, but I like making it look like a giant box. See, yes, right here, I'm going to place a piston, and then put a lever, which can go on this glass, right below it. Go around the outside of our box, and do that again. Oops. I do have a Silk Touch stone axe. You can also use a glass cutter to pick it up. And one in the middle. Is that going to be enough? Yes. Let's flip the lever. That extends the piston, which will eventually actually knock out this piece of glass. And I shouldn't have come down because now I can't get back up again. Alright, so we have these two chambers on either side. They come together where the piston is extended and explode down to, oh yeah, I need to order one more thing, I forgot. That's going to go in the hopper. Put a torch right there. Close. Alright, now this system is not perfect. It can get stuck. But it's not really something you want to keep running for a very long period of time, because it is pretty fast at generating. There we go. Pretty fast at generating sand. Alright, we're going to hop up here. I am going to put lava in this spot, and some of this liquid starlight over here. Alright, that looks correct. Now we retract the piston, and we're making a lot of sand very quickly. So, why did I set it up this way, with the hopper and the conduits? Well, the hopper will pick up the drops. You can see the sand being dropped there. And I did see one, yep, we have one aquamarine sand already. It does seem to be fast enough. It keeps up. So if I turn this off, very quickly the last bit of sand disappears. It's always the same amount of time. Oh, and when you do turn it off, that hole that I left gets filled with sand. But you don't want the hopper to fill up. Notice it's staying... It's keeping up. The two conduit, well, mainly the sand conduit, can actually keep up with the production speeds, even without any upgrades. So that's doing it. Let's see, we're at 4,500, 4,530, 4,550. It goes up very quickly. And now we've got 2 of the aquamarine. So we're getting free aquamarine and tons of sand. Which is good, because we want to take 4 stacks of sand to make a stack of sandstone. Oh, we can take this with us, so we're done with the project chest. Run down here. We put some 4 stacks of sand in here, should get us 1 stack of slag. See, that can get turned off. Put a stack of sandstone in there, which get piped down in here and turned into niter. That gets us our slag, niter from sand, sawdust from the trees. That gives us the phytogrow, water, and power. And that's all we need. It's conceivable that we could make the entire process completely automated. But I don't think it's really necessary. Like I said, it's fairly easy to make tons of this phytogrow manually every now and then. And that sand thing is not perfect. There are better ways to use that functionality so that it doesn't get stuck. I can hear it. And every now and then, especially if I leave the area and then come back, it gets stuck. There's a couple different ways it gets stuck. The sand could just be sitting on the torch somehow, and you've got to break in and break it. Or sometimes the lava will, instead of making the sand in the middle, will actually reach over and make sand in the lower section of the liquid starlight, and then the lava will pour down and just sort of kill the torch and just stop everything. That's the one that requires the most intervention. But this is not the sort of thing you want to turn on and walk away anyway, especially on a server. Just in case something gets out of hand. Now, I did put 6 diamond upgrades and a void upgrade. And this is the important one. If you do, like, get knocked off and you can't get back on again, your internet goes out, and this keeps running on the server, you don't want this thing to stop picking up the sand, and it just starts sitting there, and more and more and more until it kills the server. So whatever you do, make sure everything is going fast enough, and the excess will get voided if you forget to turn it off. But I have it right above where I usually do all my work, so I can hear it, so I remember, and come up and turn it off. I usually try and clean that out right away, so I don't have to worry about it later. So already we made over 1,000, or about 1,000 sand just since we turned this on. And 5 aquamarine sand, which I tend to bring down and toss into the enrichment factory here. So I think that gives you 2 all the time. Fortune can probably get you, a high-level fortune can probably get you more. Yeah, 2. But that's good enough since it's basically free. I've got quite a bit there. So the sand is being processed and we're getting more slag. So there it goes, it makes the ingot. The ingot comes over here, gets ground back down, put up here, which gets piped back in. It just goes around and around. Are the trees growing? Yes, okay, they just all happen to be in sync because I put them down at the same time this time. We're up to 261. Alright, I hope you liked that, because that is not the best way to do this, but it was a lot of fun, I think. It's the sort of mixing different mods and different, interactions to do a specific thing. And I really like that about modded Minecraft, especially kitchen sink packs like this, where you're not forced to do it a certain way by progression or quest book. I like it. I like it a lot. Alright, what else? Oh yes, I made the black concrete. The main reason to make black concrete is to make interconnects for environmental tech. You have to make these connectors, which are redstone and iron. You get 4. And you can take 4 of those and you make 1 interconnect. And then the interconnects are used for all the various parts of environmental tech. The main one being the structure frame tier 1, which requires litherite and the interconnect, and iron and lapis. Litherite requires green dye, lime dye, flint, and diamonds. Alright, we've got diamonds. For flint, I found that I could take gravel and put it into the manufactory, and that makes flint 1-to-1. That's probably the easiest way to make flint. Some packs I've played let you make flint by combining 3 gravel and a crafting table. We don't have that recipe here. And I could have made mystical agriculture, 2 different crops to make, quite a good return on flint. But of all the ways, mechanical squeezer gets you 2. That'd be better, but I didn't have one of those. I already had the manufactory, so I just used that recipe. And then for the dye, I did make the dye plant, which probably has made more of the essence. You can't make green dye with the essence. Black, red, purple, cyan, light gray, pink, lime. We need the lime. Yellow, light blue, magenta, and orange. No green. So that's why I did plant some cactuses over here and grow quite a bit of cactus to make cactus green. You see I got lots of lime. And it does make ink sacs, which is interesting. It makes ink sacs, but it won't make the cactus green. If it could make the ink sacs, you'd think it'd be able to make the green. So I made a lot of that. Let's get out my book. Where's my book of books? The Akashic Tomb. It's one of those things you never say out loud until you need to say it out loud. You don't know how to pronounce it. This has all the books in it, including this one. Even though it doesn't say it, this is the book for environmental tech. It's using the Valkyrie libs, so if you just do, let's actually get it. If you do at environmental tech, you won't find it in here. It's under Valkyrie lib here. But you have it in your tome here. A lot of things this mod can do, and we're going to be doing a number of its main features. But I wanted to get the Void Ore Miner, because it just gives you ores, and that's very nice. Including getting... Let's go back to environmental tech. It has a tier system of these crystals. You saw we were making the litherite from green dye and diamonds and flint. But you can't make any of the others. To get the next tier, Erodium, you have to use the Void Ore Miner. Any tier will do. The only one you can make is tier 1, because that one requires only the first level of crystal. But it gives you a chance of getting the Erodium. The next one is Chironite, and that requires at least a tier 2 Void Ore Miner. So this progresses you up, each one requiring the next tier to get it. And to make it requires the previous tier. So you need a whole lot of this litherite crystal to make the next tier of the Void Ore Miner. And the next tier of any of the machines. So you want to get this started pretty quickly, because it'll take a couple days, real-world days, to get the crystals. I also, knowing in advance, that some of the machines require a material called mica. The only way to get mica is to make the Void Resource Miner. So I went ahead and made those first 2 tier of the Void Ore Miner and the Void Resource Miner. They have to have a direct line of sight to bedrock, So the easiest way for that is for me to just go down here to the bottom of this old mine and build them down here. I build them at different heights accidentally. I should, oops. Yep. Sometimes these things are a little weird. Come here. Alright. What I really like about them is you can jump up and grab onto them. So this over here is the Void Resource Miner, and it's giving you blocks. And it's given me 3 mica so far. Yep, 3 mica. That's all I've got so far. I'll need a lot more. But it's giving me, you know, all the basic stone and granite, diorite, dirt, and... oh, I got end stone. That'll be useful. It's got red sandstone, sand, red sand, netherrack, soul sand, sponges. Got over a stack of sponges. Grass, mycelium, that's good. Ice and packed ice, obsidian, all the various terracottas. And then it starts giving you mod blocks too. Here we have Between Lands, Biomes of Plenty, Quark, all the various cave crystals. A lot of Between Lands stuff here. Doesn't give you everything like the slimy dirt from Tinker's, but it does give you a slimy dirt here from the Between Lands. But mica is really the main thing I want. Though getting the end stone and, say, obsidian and sponges if I ever need it. But the mycelium, get the grass too. Those are all sort of handy. And these might be fun for decoration, but I need a lot of them. I've got 3 crates here, but it's all putting everything into this crate right now. Did not need that. And over here is the Void Ore Miner. They're both getting powered by power cells. Oh, wow, it's been busy. Though it looks like it hasn't gotten any of the crystal that I need yet. It gets you the litherite crystal, but it should also get me the erodium, and it hasn't gotten a single one. It does have 4 of the 6 Thaumcraft crystals. For some reason, it doesn't have the fire or ordo. Ignis or ordo. Just has, or, yeah, I guess it's fire. Or maybe it doesn't have air either. Air, fire, and order. If I remember correctly. A little bit of draconium, cobalt, ardite. I don't think we have... Do we have railcraft in this pack? No. Okay. So we won't have the... I forget what it's called, but one of the ores that if you hold it in your inventory, it sets everything on fire around you. Oh, that one's a pain when you accidentally break one of these crates and it drops on the floor and it sets everything on fire and all the drops get burned up. That's happened to me before. Do we get rock crystal? Oh, we do. That's good. Rock crystal is good to get. That's the stuff that gives you the astral sorcery rock crystals, which otherwise you have to go out and dig. Getting them this way will be very nice. Yellowite when we need it. Resonating ore when we do deep resonance. A little bit of diamond. No emeralds. Not even nether emeralds yet. It will make them, though. Platinum, mana infused. Infernium. I don't think you get prosperity. That would be really nice. Oh, you do. It is possible. I just haven't gotten any yet. It prefers the clear lens. No, it prefers the light gray lens. You can change the color of the lens, which is right here, currently a clear one, to favor certain materials. So I may find out what like rock crystal likes. white. Yeah, I may swap those out. But this is just something that you need to set up as soon as possible. Feed it power. It's not getting enough. And keep it running. This one is fine, but this one must have a higher power requirements. And I'm not making enough power. Let's go upstairs here. I made additional, as you probably saw before, more wind generators. Oh, yeah, these two. I forgot I had them disconnected. Because in a treasure chest I found an illumination wand and a teleportation wand, and I wanted to charge them up. Completely forgot about... Oh, not there. I want them in my bag. I doubt that's going to be enough. We'll have to do some better power. Eventually, I think I'm going to use Environmental Tech's solar generator. But I'm going to have to go and use my digital miner a bit more in the mining dimension to get more resources. I've got a good bit of iron, yeah. I may have enough to do what I need to. I've got the black concrete here. How are we doing? 269. It's going up. Alright. That is what I had planned. Went through it pretty quickly. It's a little faster doing it with project chests. See, the aquamarine did break. Might as well toss another one on there. We will eventually need quite a bit of liquid starlight. Can I put rock crystals in here? Nope. Any other ways to process them? There is not. I don't even know if fortune works on them, but I don't have fortune at the moment, so I'll just break them, and I got 2 each. Alright, so let me decide what I'm going to do next, and I will be right back. You know, time just seems to fly by sometimes. We're at the end. I didn't realize so much time had gone by. Hopefully it didn't seem like it was that long to you. I do want to say one more thing. If you notice down on my hotbar, down there, there's a whole bunch of little light blue circles. What is that? Well, I've got a bauble here called an obsidian magic shield. The recipe is just 4 obsidian around a redstone torch. Very simple. But what it does is it provides a shield for damage. The first 12 hit points of damage I take will go to the shield. And then it'll start taking damage from my regular health. So it sort of adds 12 more hit points. It'll take 5 seconds for it to start to recharge, and then it'll recharge slowly at 1/3 of a hit point a second. So it's good for, like, one good hit, or a couple good hits if it's, builds it up to 12 hit points. And then it'll take a while to recharge again. But it's so cheap, and there are other varieties. There we go. You can even make one with just 4 logs around a stick, and you get a basic one that gives you 1 hit point with a 5-second recharge delay and a 0.2 hit points per second. But that's super cheap. You should get that right away. Then there's a stone one, which is also even cheap. Might as well go for that one. 3 hit points. Then iron, which is 6. Gold, which is 4, but it takes less time to recharge. It only takes 1 second to wait before it starts, and it goes 2 per second. So in 3 seconds, it's back to full charge again. So if you're going to go into, combat where you want it to keep coming back, and you only need the 4 hit points extra, that's a good one to choose. Extended battles, that's the one. Diamond gives you 9 with a 3-second delay and half second. I went ahead and went with the the obsidian, which gives you the most. So like one good hit. I'm rarely in extended battles, but I might get surprised by something. So I wanted to have the maximum shield capacity. And Emerald is, pretty good with 7 and a slower delay and pretty fast recharge. And then there's a whole bunch of different ones from different mods that add different materials. Some of the end steel varieties. Now that I have end stone, I can make the end steel, I think. Alloy smelter, obsidian, dark steel, and end stone. Gets you end steel, so I might do that. Energetic silver, energetic blend and silver, and that's just redstone glowstone. And this, pulverized coal, grains of infinity. Yeah, I could probably make some of these. And these are like 10, 7. That one's 12. That's crystalline alloy. That's going to take a bit more in the way of machines. But no, I can do that. I may upgrade now that I got the end stone. Because this one is better. It has the same capacity at 12 hit points. But it has half of the delay. Oh, less than half. 5 seconds. This is only 1.5 seconds. And then it goes up by 2 hit points a second instead of a third of one. So that's a good one to switch to. What's the difference between the dark steel and the end steel? Stats. Oh, just slightly. Oh, that's actually slightly better. Melodic. I need pop chorus fills, so I can't make that one. And that one's also melodic, and that one needs nether stars. So, yeah, probably the best one I can do is the crystalline, which is an improvement. So I may switch to that one in between episodes. But we need to finish this episode off. It's time to go. I hope you enjoyed this weird and wacky way of making blaze powder. And then I can make the compressor from thermal expansion and turn it back into blaze rods too, 5-to-1. So if I need a blaze rod, I can do that. Until next time, this is Nonsanity signing out. Take care, be good, and see you next time.